Good evening, folks. Good morning, folks. Whatever it is in your part of the world. Bear with me. Lay on the floor. I got a few questions asked to me quite regularly on how do you know when a bogie bearing is out. Well, besides the obvious, when it's out, it's out. And oil starts leaking everywhere. But this, I'm going to show you just a small way to tell. We'll take the machine and we'll actually release the frame lock, swing the boom over to the side, and try to get the machine to pick up its own wheels. You have to grab some wood sometimes or whatever, and then watch the bogie bearing itself. If there's any play, it's going out. In this case, this is a John Deere 1010D, and the owner, when there was still snow on the ground, noticed oil underneath here, and that's a good indicator. In a balanced bogie, that system going through there is full of oil. On a normal one, let's see, a non-balanced bogie, there's a dry pocket between the bogie and the differential and the brake support housing, axle support housing they call it. So we check today, and this is how we check in the shop. You gotta lay on your floor on the creeper, and what we do is, let me change this around. I look right, of course I don't have my screwdriver, right here. Okay, so the other portion of the bearing is inside here. And this portion, you see the dirt and the oil coming out. So that to me means that it is bad. And I'm going to see if I can't show you guys, if I can't see with the naked eye. I'm going to jack this machine up. Alright, I'm off the ground. I didn't see a whole lot. Of course, I was watching the jack and everything, so let's see if we can see it right here. We'll see movement. It's kind of a bugger. Yeah, you see that squish? Some squishy ooey gooey come out of there. It doesn't mean the end of the world. This thing will probably run a long time yet, but here we are talking about expensive components inside of this. The axle goes through it, and you got dirt already coming out and oil, so that means the seal is compromised. So I talked to the customer today, and we're going to replace both of these bogie bearings on this D. It's got a fair amount of hours in it. Let's see if we can see that again. It's very slight, like I said, but it's worthy of a change versus catastrophic failure later on. Right there, you see that? There should be absolutely no slop in there at all. This is minor. The other side was quite a bit worse, but I was just too lazy to change over the jack over to that side, truthfully. But anyways, the decision was made. I talked to the customer this morning and that's our decision. So we're gonna order the new bearings and pull it apart because like I said, the axle shaft goes through there all the way from the outside. Let me get this out of here and show you what I mean. So this video basically is gonna be about why and how to avoid a much larger bill. So in this style, the axle, you guys will know this who do it, but that axle pulls out of here. It's supported through there, and there's an extra set of gears inside that axle, inside the bogie bearing. So when this thing is trying to climb a hill, the torque from the axle actually puts down pressure on the whatever wheel's trying to climb. It forces it down. Deere sells a lot of them this way. That's just the way they are. And so what happens is this starts, I don't want to say it, let me see if I'm wide out. I am. This bogie, you'll start seeing it tip. And then starting to create a gap in there because the ball bearings or whatever are getting shot, or the race, they're not really races, it's just a channel they run in. But you see us changing a lot of these bogie bearings, and I just wanted to explain what happens. There's grease fittings all around it, and I'll get into that in another video. I'm going to show you how to grease those things because they've changed their tune over the years on how to grease them by manufacturer. Some say grease over here, very minimum, blah blah blah, and some take the plug out on the take the grease fitting out on the opposite side and pump them till grease comes out there. In the old days, they just tell you to grease them, and then they push the seals out, and then oil gets into the bearing, and that's not good either. So we'll try to demonstrate that someday. So that's what I just wanted to show you. Even though this is super slight, he noticed it on the snow 6 weeks ago and said, uh-oh, there's a problem. So we're going to fix it. Because if that went out, the carriers, the bearings around that, the ring and pinion, all that is affected by the tip of that bogie. So if you put tip on the bogie and that axle's going straight through there, it's no longer perpendicular. So you're starting to put side load and stress on them. And then you'll take the bearings out into the cover, and it's just asking for more failure inside there. So that bearing may be $4,000 a piece, but it sure beats $10,000 for a diff, and or once you start putting bearings in these bogies, you're asking for a lot of money. So we always look for that, always. And then the other thing with this machine that I will tell you, now I can't demonstrate it now because the jack isn't here, but he's got a lot of play right here. This is common. On the Ponzi's, they're forward. On the Deere, they're back here. There's a giant bearing shaft, another bearing, and a big nut that tightens everything up. So we'll be pulling that apart too. That's the two main reasons this machine is here. I've got another one outside with the same issue, not so much on the bogies, but here in the center section. So we're going to put that together. No, we're going to take it apart. Then we're going to put it back together. And I'll try to show you. I have to take the rack off to get at it. A lot of guys don't open that up and grease it either. There's a grease fitting inside there, and there's also an adjustment, a big nut. You'll see that you're supposed to adjust as it wears out. So that's what's happening with this one. This one. So I hope you learned something. It doesn't take but 5 minutes to put a jack underneath there and see what's going on. And yeah, it's money, but it'll be money well spent. You saw the Timber Pro a couple months ago, weeks ago, whatever it is, and you know, that one needed it for a long time. There was a lot of other stuff damaged in it, but we do a lot of those. They carry the whole load of all your weight for all these years, and they don't last forever. So we do a lot of axle work. All right, thanks for joining me. Hope you learned something. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe. I'm going to try to live stream once a week, Sundays, 4:30, 5 o'clock p.m. Central. I'm gonna try that. I did one the other day. I lost my live stream virginity, so we're doing good. And, anybody else, check out the Patreon thing on the bottom of the page. I haven't gotten much interest in it yet, but I don't talk about it a whole lot, but patreon.com/Michael J. Berg. Check it out and see what you think. So, all right, until next time. See ya, bye.